Yes, students, welcome to this lecture of loss of energy in pipes. We are into unit 1 and today we will discuss the topic loss of energy in pipes. So, why this loss of energy occurs in a pipe? The theory surrounding this is, see, whenever a flow or whenever a fluid flow through a pipes, it gets various obstructions. One of the major obstructions is due to resistance to flow by pipe walls. Okay. So, due to this, what happens, the certain amount of energy possessed by a fluid in the pipe get reduced to overcome these obstructions. So, for overcoming these obstructions, some energy of the fluid is lost. So, from this scenario, the loss of energy in pipes has to be studied. Okay. So, generally we term it as energy losses. Energy losses is generally classified into two. The one is major energy losses and the another is minor energy losses. See, what is this major energy losses and minor energy losses is, when a fluid is flowing and the energy loss occurs due to friction. Okay. When the energy losses are due to frictional resistance or resistance by the pipe walls due to friction or loss of head due to the friction, those all comes under major energy losses. When we talk about this minor energy losses, what happens in minor energy losses is, when the velocity or the magnitude of the flow changes, then those changes comes under, or due to that to overcome that obstructions, the minor we study under minor energy losses. We study those terms under minor energy losses. So, let us see what is major energy losses. As we have discussed it now, this is due to friction and it is calculated by the following formulas. One is Darcy-Weisbach formula. One method to calculate this major energy losses is we do by Darcy-Weisbach formula, and another is Chazy's formula, and the another is Chazy's formula. In our syllabus, for loss of energy in pipes, we will be studying only about Darcy-Weisbach formula. We will be studying this Chazy's formula in our unit 2 for open channel flow. When we talk about this minor energy losses, the minor energy losses are generally due to sudden expansion of pipe, then sudden contraction of pipe. It is also due to sudden contraction of pipe, bend in pipe, pipe fittings, okay, due to pipe fittings, and obstruction in pipe, and due to obstruction in pipe. These are nothing but minor energy losses. How minor energy losses occurs? Due to sudden expansion of pipe, sudden contraction of pipe, bend in pipe, pipe fitting, etc., and obstruction in pipe. When we talk about this minor energy or minor head losses, generally if it is a long pipe, okay, if it is a long pipe, in the long pipe what happens is, the major energy head losses due to friction will be more. So, in that scenario, the minor energy head losses can be neglected. Where it can be neglected? If the pipe is if the pipe length is more. When we talk about shorter pipe length, in shorter pipe length, this minor energy losses are also accountable. If the pipe length is more, if it is a long pipe, then when in comparison to major energy losses and minor energy losses are negligible in case of long pipe. When it is a short pipe, then with major energy losses, this minor energy losses is also accountable. Okay. So, what are all these minor energy losses? These all minor energy losses are, as you can see onto your screen, it is due to, where is the pointer? Minor energy losses. So, what does loss of head due to sudden enlargement means? Loss of head due to sudden enlargement is nothing but, see, due to sudden enlargement. When a fluid is flowing through a small pipe, and if suddenly goes into a larger diameter pipe, then we can call this scenario as loss of head due to sudden enlargement. If the fluid is flowing from this thing, smaller pipe, when the fluid enters from smaller pipe to larger diameter pipe, what happens? There is a sudden change in velocity and magnitude. So, here this type of losses comes under loss of head due to sudden enlargement. Now, go for the second one, loss of head due to sudden contraction. This happens when if the fluid flow from larger dia pipe goes into smaller dia pipes. When it goes to smaller dia pipes, what happens? There is a change in again magnitude of there is a change in magnitude and velocity of the flow. So, again there is a some losses over here. So, this comes under loss of head due to sudden contraction. When we talk about loss of head at the entrance of the pipe, suppose from a tank, okay, if there is a long pipe or a short pipe and it has to collect the water from the tank. So, what happens? From the greater surface area, the water has to flow into this pipe. So, here some energy losses occurs. So, here loss of head at the entrance of the pipe. In this similar scenario, if the pipe has to deliver the water to a tank, instead of drawing water from a tank, it has to deliver water to a tank. So, from here what happens? It has to deliver water to a greater tank. So, while the water is fluid is exiting from this pipe, there is a loss at the exit of the pipe. Loss of head due to obstruction. Loss of head due to obstruction. In the pipe flow, generally what happens? If the area is reduced due to some if within a pipe, if the area of the flow is restricted due to some obstruction, what happens? The energy losses occurs. There is a change in magnitude and velocity of the flow. So, what happens? Here some energy get losses, that is due to loss of head due to obstruction of pipe. Next, loss of head due to bend in pipe. Suppose the pipe has to change the direction from horizontal to vertical. So, what happened here? What we place? We place a bend. Okay. So, in this bend what happens? There is a obviously obstruction to the velocity of the flow. Some magnitude of this velocity get changes. Magnitude and direction of the velocity get changes. So, there is a head loss at the bend in pipe. When we talk about various loss of head into various pipe fittings such as valve, okay, or coupling, there are various other pipe fittings which connect two or more pipes. So, in that scenario also there is a loss of head. So, those losses comes under loss of head in various pipe fittings. Now, let us see in detail what should be the corrections made for the loss of head due to sudden enlargement. When we talk about loss of head due to sudden enlargement, you can see onto your screen such that at velocity at the section 1 we have generally distinguished a pipe with two sections, section 1 and section 2. Section 1 is at smaller dia pipe and section 2 is at greater diameter pipe. So, when the fluid is flowing from smaller dia pipe to larger dia pipe, there is a loss of head due to sudden enlargement. Here V1 is nothing but velocity of flow at smaller pipe, velocity of flow in smaller pipe. V2 is velocity of flow in larger diameter pipe. So, the correction or the head loss due to sudden enlargement is denoted by He as V1 minus V2 whole square by 2G. V1 is velocity of flow at shorter dia pipe. V2 is velocity of flow at larger diameter pipe. 2 by G. This G is nothing but acceleration due to gravity. This G is acceleration due to gravity. So, head loss due to sudden enlargement is V1 minus V2 whole square by 2G. When we come to loss of head due to sudden contraction, loss of head due to sudden contraction, how it happens? When the fluid is flowing from larger diameter pipe to smaller diameter pipe, what happens? Due to this sudden change in diameter of two pipes, loss of head occurs. This loss of head is denoted by HC. Loss of head due to sudden contraction is denoted by HC. Let me point the pointer over here. HC, it is denoted by HC, that is nothing but 0.5 V2 square by 2G. Here V2 square by 2G. Look at over here. Here when a larger pipe, when a fluid is flowing through a larger pipe, what happens? Flowing from section 1 to 1. Just look at over here. When the fluid is flowing from section 1 to 1, there is the diameter of the pipe is very large over here. Now look at over here at section CC, the diameter of pipe is minimum. So here section CC, here at this point is known as vena contracta. This point at section CC, where the diameter of the pipe is very where the diameter of pipe is minimum, here this section is known as vena contracta. Vena contracta, that section CC is known as vena contracta. So from that CC, if the fluid is at section CC and if it is moving through section 2, this is the same as the scenario of loss of head due to sudden enlargement. Here at section CC, the diameter is minimum. So from minimum diameter, the fluid is flowing through towards the section 2. So that is nothing but due to enlargement. That formula is considered as loss of head due to sudden contraction. HC is 0.5 V2 square by 2G. V2 is velocity of the flow at section 2 and G is acceleration due to gravity. Then next, minor loss of head at the entrance of the pipe. Loss of head at the entrance of the pipe is generally denoted by HI. HI is 0.5 V square by 2G. It is very similar to loss of head due to sudden contraction. This formula is very similar to loss of head due to sudden contraction. This formula is very similar to loss of head due to sudden contraction. It is denoted by HI. It is denoted by HI. When we talk about loss of head at the exit of the pipe, it is denoted by HO. Okay, HO or H naught. V square by 2G. V square by 2G. Here in this both formulas, V is nothing but velocity of fluid flowing through the pipe. Velocity of fluid flowing through a pipe. Both. At the loss of head at the entrance of the pipe, it is the same. Loss of head at the exit of the pipe, it is the V. V in the both scenarios stand same, where V is velocity of fluid flowing through the pipe. The next is loss of head due to obstruction in pipe. Look at the figure. This is nothing but obstruction in the pipe. This is nothing but obstruction in the pipe. Here the diameter is large. Here also the diameter is large. Here the diameter get reduced. The flow area get reduced. Okay. Here the flow area is more. Here at section 2 flow area is more. At section 1 what happens when compared to section 2 flow area is reduced. Loss of head due to obstruction in a pipe is given by Vc minus V whole square by 2G. Here Vc is nothing but velocity of the flow at vena contracta. Vena contracta. Last time we have discussed what is vena contracta. Vena contracta is the flow area where velocity at the flow area where diameter or flow area is minimum. Okay. Here the flow area is minimum when compared to section 2. So velocity of the fluid at this section 1 we call where the diameter is or the flow area is minimum, we call that area as vena contracta. So Vc is velocity of the flow at vena contracta minus V. V is velocity of the flow remaining all along the pipe by 2G. And when loss of head due to bend in pipe and loss of head due to various pipe fitting is denoted by HB is kV square by 2G. Here V is nothing but V is velocity of flow in pipe and K is coefficient of pipe fitting, whether it is a bend, for the respective fittings, pipe fittings, there is a coefficient of fitting. So, that coefficient of fitting we need to place, coefficient of pipe fitting we need to place over here. It will be in fraction, decimal value, or generally it is a numerical value. Suppose if it is a bend, so coefficient of bend we need to write it over, substitute it over here, or various pipe fitting, in the sense if it is a wall, there is a different value for coefficient of pipe fittings due coefficient of loss of head due to wall, that value we need to substitute it over here. Now, let us see the major energy or major head losses. Major head losses are basically what we have seen. Why major head losses occurs? Major head losses occur due to friction in pipes. Major head losses always occurs due to friction, due to friction in. So, we will be deriving expression for loss of head due to friction in pipes. Now, as you can see on your screen, there is a cross section of the pipe. Okay. So, consider two sections, section 11 and section 22. Consider two sections, section 11 and section 22. Before section 11, in the areas of before section 11, let me locate the pointer please. So, in the area before this section 11 and after the section 22, there is no friction force. Let us assume that there is no friction force acting after section 22 and before section 11, and in between section 1 and 2 there is a frictional resistance. Let us assume that between section 11 and section 22 there is a frictional resistance. So, now flow direction, okay, flow through this pipe is in this direction from left to right, we will assume. So, P1, here P1 is nothing but pressure intensity at section 11. This P1 is nothing but pressure intensity at section 11. V1 is velocity of flow at section 11. If we measure the flow velocity at this section 11, then we will term it as V1. L is length of the pipe between section 11 and 22. L is nothing but length of pipe between section 11 and section 22. So, this length between section 11 and section 22, we consider the length of the pipe as L. P1 is pressure intensity at section 11. V1 is velocity at section 11. Similarly, D is diameter of the pipe. F dash, okay, F dash is frictional resistance per unit wetted area per unit velocity. We will consider F dash as, consider this F dash as frictional resistance per unit wetted area per unit velocity. HF is loss of head due to friction, where it is happening between section 1 and 2 it is happening. What? Head loss due to friction, as frictional resistance is present between 1 and 2 only. Okay. So, in this length between section 11 and section 22, we are experiencing head loss due to friction, that is HF. P2 and V2 are values of pressure intensity at section section 22. P2 is pressure intensity at section 22 and V2 will be velocity of the flow at section V2. So, this is generally description. See, once again I am saying only between section 11 and section 22 frictional resistance is exists in this pipe. This is our assumption. Before section 11 no head loss occurs basically because of no friction present over here. Now, let us apply Bernoulli's equation between section 11 and section 22, between section 11 and section 22. Generally, what Bernoulli's equation says, total head before section 11 and after section 22 remains the same. So, total section at head 11 at section 11, total head at this section 11, here is our section 11, total head at section 11 is equal to total head at section 112 plus at here section 11 there is no head losses, right, but between section 11 and section 112 what is happening, due to this frictional resistance what happens, head loss occurs. Okay. So, at section 22 total head at section 22 plus loss of head, total energy remains constant, total energy at section 11 is equal to total energy at section 22 plus loss of head due to friction between section 11 and 22, that we need to apply over here. What Bernoulli's equation says, total head at any section remains constant. Okay. Total head at 11, there is no frictional resistance or there is no loss of head before section 11. So, no addition of loss of head, but at section 2 loss of head, total head at section 2, what happens at section 22, total head at section 22, and also we need to add loss of head due to friction between section 11 and section 22. So, Bernoulli's equation, total head is pressure head plus velocity head plus bottom head. This Bernoulli's equation is combination of pressure head plus, this is our pressure head, velocity head, datum head. When we talk about at section 11, section 11 pressure intensity is P1. So, pressure head is P1 by rho g, P1 by rho g, P1 is pressure intensity at section 11, rho is density of the fluid, g is acceleration due to gravity plus velocity head, velocity is V1 square by 2g, V1 is velocity of the flow at section 11 by 2, g is acceleration due to gravity, Z1 is datum head, Z1 is datum head. When we come to add this right hand side of the equation, P2 is pressure intensity at section 22, V2 is velocity of the flow at V2 and Z2 is our datum head, and additionally what is occurring, head loss between section 11 and section 22 is occurring. So, we need to add this head loss HF over here. We know that as this is a horizontal pipe, Z1 is equal to Z2 and V1 is also equal to V2 and also V1 is equal to V2. When we substitute these two values in this above equation, this equation get transformed into this pressure intensity P1 by rho g is equal to P2 by rho g plus HF. What happens, as this Z1 and Z2 are equal, these two get cancelled, Z1 and Z2 get cancelled and V1 is also equal to V2. So, these two expression also get cancelled. Remaining is P1 by rho g is equal to P2 by rho g plus HF. So, from this if we derive the value of HF, HF can be written as P1 by rho g minus P2 by rho g, where rho is density and g is acceleration due to gravity, P is pressure intensity. What is P? P is pressure intensity. Yes, students. So, from this formula what we can write, this can be converted as HF is equal to P1 minus P2 by rho g, and from this equation we can write it as P1 minus P2 is equal to HF rho into g. Okay. In the next steps we will be using this equation. Okay. So, now HF is nothing but head loss due to friction and hence intensity of pressure will be reduced in the direction of flow by frictional resistance. See, when we move from section 1 to 1 to section 1 to 2, if we move from section 1 to 1 to section 2 to 2, what is happening? There is a increase, there is a drop in pressure, intensity of pressure will be reduced. Why? Because due to frictional resistance will be reduced in the direction of the flow by frictional resistance. So, frictional resistance we say frictional resistance as F1. Okay, here this F1 is nothing but frictional resistance. It is nothing but equal to frictional resistance per unit wetted area per unit velocity. This is frictional resistance F dash. F dash, what we will call it as F dash? Frictional resistance per unit wetted area per unit velocity into wetted area. Wetted area is nothing but pi dl, wetted area of the pipe. When we are talking about the pipe, the wetted area is pi dl into velocity square, velocity square. So, once again remember, wetted area P is nothing but pi d. Pi d is perimeter, pi d is perimeter. So, F1 is frictional resistance is frictional resistance per unit volume. Substitute in the place of pi d as P. This P, this is not the pressure but perimeter. This P is perimeter. Perimeter is nothing but pi d. Perimeter is nothing but pi d. Frictional resistance per unit wetted area per unit velocity into wetted area into velocity square. The forces acting on the fluid between sections 1 to 1 and 2 to 2. What are the forces acting over here? Look at over here. This is force, P1 force is acting, frictional resistance force is acting, and P2 forces are acting at section between section 1 and section 2. So, forces acting is pressure force at section 1, pressure force at 1, which is nothing but, how we can write pressure force? Okay, pressure into area, P1 into area. This is the first force acting. Second, again pressure force at the section 2, pressure force at the rate section 2. It is nothing but P2 into area of the pipe. Okay, P2 into cross sectional area. Next, third force is nothing but frictional resistance. What we have? Frictional force. Frictional force, that is nothing but F1. That is nothing but F1. When we do algebraic sum of these forces, as P1 force is acting in this direction, let me rotate this pointer. See, P1 force is acting in this direction, F1 force is acting in this direction, P2 is also acting in this direction. So, when we do algebraic sum of forces, we get P1A minus P2A minus F1 is equal to 0, is equal to 0. So, from here, as A is common, P1 minus P2, we take A as common, is nothing but F1. Okay, F1 is nothing but frictional resistance. So, from this, P1 minus P2 is P1 minus P2 is frictional resistance F1 by A, frictional resistance by A. What we have got the formula for frictional resistance from above? Look at the look it from the top end. That is already we have derived the formula for frictional resistance F1. That is onto your screen. Just look it. That is, see here, this formula. This we need to substitute here. Okay, so it becomes f dash into perimeter, P is perimeter over here, into length into V square by area by area. Okay. So, but we know that P1 minus P2 from our previous slide, what it is? P1 minus P2, P1 minus P2 is nothing but HF rho G. P1 minus P2 can also be written as HF rho G. So, substitute that value. Okay. So, P1 minus P2 can also be written as HF rho G from previous equation, HF rho G. HF rho G is equal to what we have? Frictional resistance. What is F dash? Frictional resistance per unit wetted area per unit volume. See, F1 is different, F dash is different, and normal F is different. Okay, F dash into P into L into V square by area. Okay, so here we get, if we just write HF is equal to F dash by rho G into P by A, here P is nothing but perimeter, into length L V square. Okay, L V square. Now this P by A is nothing but, see, P is nothing but perimeter. Perimeter is, we'll write it over here. So, what to write the value of P by A? P is nothing but our perimeter. P is nothing but perimeter. Here, P is nothing but perimeter. Perimeter is pi d by area, pi d square by 4. This is the value for perimeter P. So, here P is nothing but what it becomes? P becomes 4 by d. When we cancel similar terms, it becomes 4 by d. So, substitute, and F dash. F dash is nothing but frictional resistance. F dash by rho. F dash by rho. Frictional resistance per unit wetted area per unit velocity by density is nothing but frictional factor by 2. When we substitute these two values in this equation, we will get our head loss equation as HF is equal to, okay, 4 F by 2G, F by 2G LV square by D, LV square by D. Therefore, HF is also written as 4FLV square, 4FLV square by D into 2G, where 4 is constant, F is coefficient of friction, L is length of the pipe, V is velocity, D is diameter of pipe, and G is acceleration due to gravity. This is our final head loss equation. This equation is also known as Darcy-Weisbach equation. This equation is also known as Darcy-Weisbach equation, which is used to calculate head loss due to friction. This is also used to calculate head loss due to friction. So, this is all about this head loss thing. Okay, we have considered a section pipe. We have applied the Bernoulli's theorem. After applying Bernoulli's theorem, we have got P1. This P1 minus P2 is pressure over here. Don't get confused. Here this is nothing but pressure. Okay, here we use one more P. This P is nothing but, okay, this P in frictional resistance formula which we use, it is a perimeter. It is perimeter. This is perimeter. Don't get confused between this capital P and small p. Don't get confused between capital P and small p. Okay. So this is all about head loss. We have seen major head losses, minor head losses. Okay. Once again remember, if the pipe is long, if the pipe length is long, minor head losses are neglected. Those are not accountable. When the pipe length is short, then these minor losses are accountable when compared to major head losses. Major head losses are always due to frictional resistance. Minor head losses are due to change in velocity or magnitude. Change in velocity or magnitude leads to minor head losses, whereas major head losses is due to friction. Okay, this cannot be neglected. Major head losses cannot be neglected. This is Darcy-Weisbach equation, which is used to calculate head loss for laminar flow. Okay, head loss equation. Thank you.